Alright, I'm back again, which I'll be going off the last video, of course. I thought that I would set my phone off aside here somewhere. Let's stay there, or is it going to fall? Hopefully it don't fall. Anyway, oh, there's that word again. They're on lunch there before I check my mail anyway, so I got like 20 minutes before they'll be back. At the end of the last video, I'd started getting into a little bit about spiritual warfare and me starting to understand it more, be more aware of it and stuff like that. And I touched base on one of my friends who I care about a lot calling me last night when I was sleeping, and I felt like God just said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Leave it in my hands." And whereas before I would have been on the phone or trying to counsel or help, so it's not exactly easy to leave everything in God's hands, especially when you feel like you can help somebody, or with yourself even. You want to, when stuff ain't happening fast enough, when you're praying and wanting things to be better and it ain't happening yet, then you want to just start taking it into your own hands and going to try to make it happen, and then it ain't happening, and sometimes you have to be patient and show the Lord how much faith you have in him, and just wait and see how he guides you to, or what he brings, or how he changes it, or what he brings to you, or where he guides you to go, or and just start paying total attention to the Lord, and keep talking to him and asking him to guide you, or either guide it to you or guide you to it, or where you're down your path. The spiritual warfare thing, I've been noticing it with multiple people that I've walked away from, that I know were not good for me. My heart wanted them to be. I had so many family members and friends, that I really wished that they were closer with God and would do what's right even when it's not easy. But they're not. A lot of them are weak or something, and I hope and I pray that they find their way eventually. But God guided me away from all that. Where I've been staying now, I have a feeling that I'm supposed to be there, and I've had multiple forces, try to pull me away from there and stuff, and I don't know how I'm doing it, but it's the toughest things I've been getting. I've been staying in that area because I feel I'm supposed to. Now, during this time of having to stay in this area, which is mainly the Walmart parking lot area in town, but in town basically, I'm supposed to be, For some reason, I've been drawn to that Walmart parking lot too. And I have met so many people that I know God wanted me to meet, and I didn't realize that until after I meet each one of them. One of my friends that I met there, I just sent him a text last night and haven't heard back from him. I hope he's doing okay. I don't want to get sidetracked right now, though. So I could even feel that certain people from my past were going to start reaching out to me, and I feel that I'm supposed to. Some I'm not supposed to respond to, and I haven't been responding to none of them because God told me not to, And some of them I do just light interaction with. The Lord's doing his work in my world with these people, and I'm sure he's doing it in your world too. And whatever it is that you're going through, there's reasons for it all. We don't understand it. And sometimes we can feel totally lost. But there is a reason for it all. As long as you have faith and keep talking to God, keep praying to God, there's a reason for it all. I wish I could say something that would help you feel it or understand it, but hopefully you can see it within me and how I feel. I still have my days, especially in the mornings, like I've been saying. When I get up is when I'm weak. I have to start talking to God right away. You know, well, shouldn't say I have to, but I just do. It's natural for me, you know. Start talking to God, you know, about how I'm feeling and help him give me the strength to get me motivated to do something and to make it through each moment, each day, you know. Again, I wish I could explain the feeling I'm feeling right now, because I can feel this presence really strong today, and it almost gets me really emotional. When you can feel God's love, it's really cool. Sometimes we get lost in ourselves and don't feel that because we're too busy being distracted, which is brings us back to spiritual warfare, you know. And if you try not to focus on those distractions in life, those things that are tough, the things that are really bending your brain or your heart and making you feel all these different things, if you can try not to focus on those and try to focus more on God, whether it's praying to Him, looking through the Bible and looking at different scriptures. What I started doing was started reading the Bible again this time. Before I started from Genesis when I was younger. And some of that gets foggy in there because I ended up partying and doing a lot of stuff, you know. And so I don't remember all I read. But I don't even know there's people getting in that truck behind me. But this time around, I went straight to the New Testament, and I'm gonna feel stupid if I say it wrong, but I feel like Matthew is the beginning in the New Testament. I got a friend of mine trying to call me right now and can't answer it. I gotta focus on this video. He'll have to leave a message. So that helped me a lot, you know, and I like that there's the highlighted in the Bible. I really like that the red area is highlighted in where Jesus actually speaks. That draws me a little closer to Jesus, you know, knowing that these are the things He said, you know. So if you're looking through a Bible and seeing that, maybe you'll feel the same way. Maybe it'll help you start feeling a little closer to Jesus, because then you're not just reading the Bible. You're actually getting closer to the Lord Jesus, you know, when you're seeing His actual words. I don't know. That's just how I feel. And if you try it, you might start feeling some of the same kind of things. Even though I'm myself, I'm going through these challenges and stuff, I'm going to keep walking this path to the best of my ability. And can't say I like it all. It's been tough. But I know it's supposed to be happening. Now today, when I finish here at the library, I'm going to head back to the Walmart lot, because I said it in the previous video. My friend Dave, who I met, he's going to be leaving tomorrow, and I'll try to keep in touch with him through our phones, and I hope we do stay in touch. And I hope, well, first of all, tonight I hope I get to spend some time with him tonight, because I don't want to miss him. I really enjoyed his company, and a few different in the moments we've got shared together within the last month or so here, he was definitely sent by God to me. I was definitely sent by God to him. We were brought together in that parking lot along with other people. So I don't know if there's anything distinct about that space or nothing. It's just that's where we were all brought together, and it's just been really cool and amazing. So even though I've been out of work and without money when I was making pretty good money, this has been one amazing, awesome experience. Even though I've had really hard times and shed a lot of tears, it's another eye opener in a different type of way. I don't know how to explain it, but it's all worth it without a doubt. Everything I'm going through has been worth it all. I mean, there's a lot of heartache there, especially with my family. My mom. Ooh, did you hear that? That was ice melting off of my camper and crashing across my hood. If you heard it, I don't know. Hopefully the mic picked it up. Where are we at here? Yeah, I'm not babbling on too long. Just past 11:22. Got a couple lights on in front of me to help light my face a little better because I'm trying to play with the manual exposure, so I don't know if this is going to show up well or not. This is all another experiment video because normally I have it on auto, so it auto adjusts, but I'm trying to learn a little bit as I go. Each time I try to learn something more. It's like when I'm editing, I didn't know how to edit nothing before, and when I first learned how to put text into a film I'm editing, I was like, oh cool, I can write stuff. Well, that's off track from where I was talking. But what I'm feeling now, what I'm going through between this not working and following this path, I was thinking about too, is that, Lord, don't get mad at me. But sometimes I feel like it's God stopping me from getting these jobs because I'm very, I don't want to sound like I'm conceited or fat-headed, but I'm very smart. I work hard, and I've had interviews go very well. I've applied for so many places, and sometimes I feel like, just like I've been telling some people all along, is that I feel like God don't want me to work in the normal work environment. I don't know where it is He wants me to work. I haven't figured it out yet. I feel like it's something to do with Him. That's why I started this channel. And but when I applied at the temporary agency, and I even had the temporary agency tell me they couldn't find me work, or probably wouldn't be able to get me work till after the new year. That surprised me. And they didn't even want to copy my birth certificate. That was weird. And that's happened with all these interviews I went to too, that told me to bring my birth certificate. All my ID forms, ID and stuff. And I brought it all, so that way they could run copies, whatever, prepared to be hired. And I bring all this stuff with me, and then none of them want to copy it or nothing. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. And their interviews go well, it's not like, I don't know. So sometimes I feel like maybe, just maybe, that for somehow, some way, maybe I feel like it might be God saying, nope, you don't want to hire him. I've got a different plan for him, Sure wish it would happen pretty quick here, Lord. Because this has been a little stressful. I got to thank a lot of people that have been helping me. I've had a lot of help. And I can only come to the conclusion that God is sending that help to me. Because it's not like I'm going out asking for it or knocking on doors and begging or anything, Now the church, I have went there a few times to see if they have a gas card or that, and I've got a gas card a couple times, and we haven't had any the last couple times I went there. And then I really like going to that one of my last videos here. That when I went to that different church service at the Lutheran church, I really enjoyed that. It was neat because I was the new guy, and seeing all the other parishioners smiling at me, and when we all introduced or shaking hands or and stuff, uh, seeing the glow in them, like, ooh, somebody new to our church. It was nice. And then there was some I met there before, because one time when I stopped over there, they were having a lunch dinner kind of deal and invited me to sit down, and the pastor said he had a few guys he wanted to introduce me to. I'd probably get along great with them or whatever, and I did. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I stayed. There was part of me that was like, that you feel that you don't want to put people out, or you don't want to. Your pride gets in the way. You're like, no, because like, they asked me if I was hungry. Well, right away I'm thinking, I got food. I don't need to take from somebody else. But the reason was beyond the food. That it was all part of just fellowship. And I'm really glad I stayed there for that. I got to meet those guys. And one of them, who I talked with quite a bit, and I got him to laugh pretty hard that day too. And well, since then, I seen him when I went to last Sunday service, and then I've seen him here at the library. I guess he comes to a book club here sometimes, so or something like that. I think it's a book club, or maybe it's a Bible study, but I don't know. Kind of makes me wonder. Traveling subjects a little bit here. Hopefully that merged well from the last video of continuing on a little bit about spiritual warfare. My eyes are starting to open to it more, and I'm starting to see more of it and distractions and stuff. I hope that's a good thing, and I hope I'm seeing it properly. I always ask God to guide me and don't let me make any mistakes, because I've made enough of them in my life. I remember one time me and my sister Stephanie, she's passed on now. She ended up getting in a car accident, being paralyzed from the chest down. But she was a character, and she was kind of an against the grain person. But if she had something to say, she'd say it. She wouldn't hide it from you. And one time we got into a dispute because she came home from the Courage Center, where she was supposed to learning how to be independent again since she had that accident. And when she come home, because my dad had passed on just before that happened and stuff, so I kind of felt like I had to kind of take the role of my dad too, to be there for my sister and my stepmom. And when she came home from school, I was like, "What are you doing home?" She said, "I said, oh, you're sick." I was worried, by the way. I was worried about her health. And she was just like, "No, I didn't feel like going," all her head bobbing and stuff, like she was going to tell me. And of course, because I'm thinking of her future, so I'm trying to be a little more strict or stern, kind of rather than a brother and sister, I was trying to be parent to child kind of a deal. And I was like, "Well, then fine." I said, "But you're not using the phone and you're not having any friends over." She's all like, starts screaming at me, "Hey, my dad, you can't tell me what to do, blah, 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 blah." We got into a big deal. It was funny, but I don't know what got me to switch to that, because what I was actually going to go towards, that I got thinking about, is that one time, I knew she was going through a lot. I mean, I can only imagine the different things she was feeling, because I never been put in that situation. She lost her ability to walk and everything from this accident, and now she's confined to a wheelchair, so she's going through things I can't even. All I can do is try to imagine what the things, thoughts, and feelings she's going through, and try to be there for her, but yet be the best I can be, and not be a crutch for her either, and try to help her through it as a brother the best I can, to get the best outcome for her, And, and oh, I love that girl. She was awesome. And she says that we were talking, and I'm trying to think how that started now. And I was telling her, God, I can't remember what the debate was about then. And I said, "Well, Stephanie, I said, I understand you're going through a lot of stuff. you know, and I know it's hard, you know, and I'm just trying to help you be on the right path. So, you know, maybe someday if I'm not here, that I know you're going to be okay and stuff. And she's like, my stepmom was sitting on the couch too, and my sister's all, you know, full of fire, you know, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well," she says, "not everybody's perfect like you." And I said, "Stephanie, I am not perfect." And then I go, "Wait a minute, let me take that back." And I said, "I'm not perfect." And I was being a smart aleck. I said, "But I'm about the closest thing anybody will ever find." And oh, my stepmom, she just looks over at me and she's like, rolls her eyes like, "Oh, it's getting deep." But that's just me and my humor, you know. And but I do like who I am. But I don't think I'm like, you know, Mr. Almighty and stuff. But boy, that was a fun moment for humor. uh, she had good humor too, though. Actually, in her dying moments, I was feeling really sad because my sister was dying at 26, and she was getting really weak. And I was sitting by her bedside in the hospital, and I was crying, and she reached her arm up, and I could tell she had to really put some energy into it, you know. And she gently laid her hand on my shoulder, and she started like lightly rubbing my shoulder, and she said, "What's the matter, brother?" And I started crying more, and I said, "Well," I said, "I'm just being selfish." I said, "Because I'm going to miss you when you're gone." And she smiled at me. She said, "It's okay." She says, "I'm going to miss me too." And, you know, I'm crying and laughing at the same time because she was just being a little smart aleck right to the end, you know, but good humor, you know. Yeah, she was awesome. Uh, yeah, I don't know how I traveled on this journey, but well, I guess these videos are taking me wherever I'm going, and I hope all this stuff, me sharing myself, I hope some of y'all are getting to know me. I wish I was getting to know you in the same aspect, but you know, this is a one-way kind of a deal at the moment. Who knows, maybe I'll meet some of y'all in the future, and you'll all feel like you already know me, and I'll be like, "All right, well, I need to get to know you." We'll see if that ever happens. I don't know. Which is weird when you think about that, you know. It's not like a normal in-person relationship. But I know that anybody that's, because I've watched so many other different people and YouTubers when I was researching van life and RV life, all that stuff, and you know, I feel like I know a lot of those people I watch pretty good, but if I met them, they wouldn't know me from Adam, you know. so I can kind of see how that is, you know. But anyway, there's that word again. We're babbling on a little long here, so I guess grab my phone here. I got my phone linked to the camera now, so I don't have to lean forward and give you a close-up when I shut it off. So guess we'll say au revoir. Au revoir. Is that French? I don't know. Au revoir. Au revoir. Adios. Aloha. Goodbye. Anyway. That word. I gotta get it out of there. Maybe it'll just keep happening. I don't know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. God bless you. Thanks again.